Did you know that more than 70% of dogs experience fear or anxiety when they hear a vacuum cleaner running? This household appliance, so familiar to us, can cause real panic in our four-legged friends. Today we will figure out why this happens and how to help your pet overcome this fear so that cleaning the house stops being a stressful situation for the whole family. Our dogs are amazing creatures with a special perception of the world, and what is ordinary noise for us can be a real ordeal for them. Let's dive into canine psychology and find a solution to this common problem. Why are dogs afraid of vacuum cleaners? It's all about their super sensitive hearing. Dogs can detect sounds with frequencies up to 40,000 Hz, while humans hear a maximum of up to 20,000. Imagine what is just loud noise for us might sound like a deafening roar to a dog. Vacuum cleaners emit not only loud, but also high-frequency sounds that we don't even perceive. But for dogs' ears, they can be painful. Moreover, the vacuum cleaner moves unpredictably, makes strange sounds and changes their intensity, and even eats everything in its path. From a dog's perspective, this looks like some strange and dangerous creature invading its territory. No wonder many pets prefer to hide under the bed or run to another room. Interesting fact: research shows that dogs of certain breeds are more prone to fear of loud sounds. For example, Border Collies, German Shepherds, and Labradors often demonstrate increased sensitivity to noise, but Terriers and Bulldogs usually more stoically endure loud sounds. But of course, each dog is individual, and the reaction may depend on the character and past experience of the pet. Have you noticed that puppies are often less afraid of vacuum cleaners than adult dogs? This is because the little ones haven't yet formed negative associations. If a puppy gets used to the sound of working appliances from an early age, the likelihood of developing a phobia is significantly reduced. That's why early socialization is so important. Let's talk about how to determine if a dog is really afraid of a vacuum cleaner and not just showing interest in it. Signs of fear can be different: trembling, tucked tail, flattened ears, attempts to hide, excessive salivation, rapid breathing. Some dogs may even show aggression, barking, growling, or trying to attack the vacuum cleaner. But this is also a manifestation of fear, not courage. It's important to understand that ignoring the problem won't lead to its solution. If every time you turn on the vacuum cleaner, the dog experiences stress, this can lead to chronic anxiety and even behavioral problems. So let's figure out how to help our four-legged friend. The first step in overcoming fear is a gradual introduction to the enemy. Start by simply placing the turned-off vacuum cleaner in the room where the dog is. Let your pet explore it, sniff it, get used to its presence. Don't force the dog to approach the vacuum cleaner. This will only intensify the fear. Instead, encourage any show of interest with treats and praise. When the dog stops reacting to the stationary vacuum cleaner, you can move to the next stage, moving the vacuum cleaner around the room, but still turned off. This will help your pet get used to the fact that this object can move but doesn't pose a danger. Did you know that there are special audio recordings with sounds of household appliances that are used for desensitizing dogs? It really works! You can find such recordings on the internet and play them first at a very low volume, gradually increasing the sound level as the dog gets used to it. This way, the pet will learn to associate the sound of a vacuum cleaner with something ordinary and harmless. The next step is turning on the vacuum cleaner for a short time when the dog is in another room. Gradually reduce the distance and increase the operating time of the device. It's very important during this process to create positive associations, give the dog favorite treats, play games that it enjoys. Counter-conditioning is one of the most effective ways to combat phobias in dogs. The essence of it is to connect the frightening stimulus, in our case, the vacuum cleaner, with something pleasant. For example, you can feed the dog only while the vacuum cleaner is running or take out an especially valuable treat that it receives exclusively in this situation. An interesting case from practice. A golden retriever named Barney was panically afraid of the vacuum cleaner and hid under the bed at the first sounds of its operation. The owners decided to apply the counter-conditioning method and began to lay out a path of chicken pieces, Barney's favorite treat, from his hiding place to the working vacuum cleaner. Gradually, the dog began to associate the sound of the vacuum cleaner with receiving treats, and after a few weeks, it calmly lay in its place during cleaning. And what to do if your dog not only fears but also aggressively reacts to the vacuum cleaner? In this case, the technique of switching attention can help. Teach the dog to perform some command, for example, place, and practice it while the vacuum cleaner is running. Gradually, the pet will focus on executing the command, not on the irritating factor. A very important point: never punish a dog for showing fear. This will only worsen the situation. Imagine that you are afraid of spiders and someone, instead of helping, starts scolding you for this fear. This is unlikely to help you stop being afraid, rather the opposite. The same goes for dogs. Punishment for fear can lead to the development of even more serious behavioral problems. For particularly sensitive dogs, there are special tools that can help cope with stress. For example, pheromone diffusers that release synthetic analogs of calming pheromones, or special vests that create a hugging effect and reduce anxiety. However, remember that these are auxiliary means, not a panacea. If nothing helps, and the dog continues to experience severe stress at the sound of a vacuum cleaner, it's worth consulting a veterinary behavioral specialist. Sometimes phobias can be so strong that professional intervention and even medication support are required. Now let's talk about prevention. If you have a puppy, start introducing it to various household sounds from an early age. Turn on the vacuum cleaner, hair dryer, washing machine, and other appliances in the presence of the little one. But don't direct them directly at it. Create a positive atmosphere, play, give treats. Let the puppy associate these sounds with pleasant moments. Interestingly, some dogs over time not only stop being afraid of the vacuum cleaner, but even begin to perceive it as a toy or part of an exciting ritual. For example, a border collie named Lexi was initially afraid of the vacuum cleaner, but after successful training began to bring her toys to be vacuumed. Dogs are amazingly adaptable and with the right approach can overcome almost any fear. In conclusion, I want to remind you of the main points. Fear of vacuum cleaners in dogs is a normal reaction related to their special perception of sounds and movement. This fear can be overcome through gradual introduction, creating positive associations, and patience. The main thing is not to rush and to respect your pet's feelings. And what unusual fears does your dog have? Maybe it's afraid not only of the vacuum cleaner, but also of other objects or sounds. Share your stories in the comments and tell us how you deal with these situations. Your experience may be invaluable to other dog owners. If you liked this video and learned something new, don't forget to like it. This will help our channel grow and create more useful content about our four-legged friends. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you don't miss new episodes. And if you know someone who has faced the problem of dog fears, share this video with them. Together, we will make our pets' lives happier. In the next episode, we will talk about another interesting feature of dog behavior that often puzzles even experienced owners. It will be very informative, so don't miss it. Remember, understanding is the first step to harmonious relationships with your four-legged friend. Until next time,